So your second time in Cabo.
Yes.
And this time is much different because you're not working.
Yeah.
But you're starting to write more,
Yes.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Get inspiration. What's your observations of the area, Baja?
Oh my God. I absolutely fell in love with it. Again, this is my second time, like you just said, but this time being with you guys, with Ronival and at Kivira, it's been a magical experience.
Yes.
Really, we got here on Sunday night, and you guys from the very first minute treated us so nicely, and then we woke up Monday morning, first thing, like 6 a.m. We see the sun come out from the mountain. Oh my God, it was like biblical. It was like, yeah, exactly. We couldn't believe it. Like we would be like laughing out loud in the apartment, like, oh my God, do you see that? This is like a dream. This is heaven.
Welcome to the Nick Fong Podcast. As the broker and owner of Ronival Real Estate, Nick has spent nearly 20 years in Baja, California, sir. And in this podcast, he'll be talking everything Baja, from food and culture to real estate and property management. And now, here's your host, Nick Fong.
All right, welcome back to the podcast. Today's guest, Ariana Ron Pedrique.
Yay!
Yes! I got it.
Thank you for having me, Nick. This is so fun.
Well, thank you for being here. And so all of you know, this is the first time we met, right? Just 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And so you're here because your husband actually works for the company.
Yeah.
And has been for almost 2 years. And you decided to tag along.
Yes.
So you've been here before.
Yeah. I came here like maybe 7 years ago, maybe 5 years ago.
Okay.
I think it was more like 7 years ago. It was just like 4 days. It was for a photo shoot and an interview. So it was more like work, like a work trip. And so this one, I'm loving it so much more. Yeah, sorry. You were.
No, I had asked you before we started recording, what have you been doing the past week? And you said?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Enjoying life. Oh my God.
But you don't do nothing professionally. You actually do something very interesting.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm an actor, and I've been an actor for a while now, since 2011. I started my career in Mexico as an actress. Actually, I started working, I'm from Caracas, Venezuela, and I started as a host, actually. So I started working with E! Entertainment Television.
In Venezuela?
In Venezuela.
Oh.
And for example, I would go to New York to cover the Fashion Week New York, or Panama to do the Fashion Week Panama. I also worked in a network called Televen, which is like a national network, very big in Venezuela. So that's how I started, actually.
Before 2011?
Before Mexico, before considering being an actor. And then all of a sudden, I got the opportunity to study acting in Mexico. And I took it, and I'm so glad I did, because it has changed my life. I was able to see that was my passion. And hosting is something that I really enjoy, but it's a job. For me, the moment I got the sights for the first time and I was able to do a scene, I was like, oh my God, I think this is what I'm supposed to do.
Did you go to Mexico City to study acting, or you just went because you wanted to leave Venezuela?
No, so I did an audition. So in Mexico, more so like things were like used to be in Hollywood years ago, like for Marilyn Monroe type of time era. So there are these exclusivities in Mexico where you signed a contract for like 5 years or 10 years exclusivity, and you only can work with that company, and that company has their own like acting school. And so that's what I did. I signed a contract that helped me actually get out of Venezuela, which is, as I'm sure you know, going through a very difficult moment politically and economically. So that, to me, that was an opportunity. And then I ended up loving acting. I love, it's actually, for me, it's like playing. And I was able to make an amazing career in Mexico for almost 10 years. And then I moved out to LA, and I'm trying to break in the industry. It's so hard.
Harder than being in Mexico.
Way harder, for me at least.
Yeah. And
oh
so
my God.
when you were in Mexico, you were actually on some notable TV shows and stuff. So tell everyone.
Yeah, so I started in Secretos de Familia, which was my first project as a series regular, and I absolutely loved it. But everything started just to fall so quickly. Like, so many opportunities thankfully came my way, and I was able to actually keep working as a host while acting. So I did Lip Sync Mexico alongside Nicky Jam. He's like a super cool rap singer in Latin America. I did El Hormiguero, but I also did other projects, but especially the one that everybody knows me here in Mexico is Rosario Tijeras. I did the role of Paula Restrepo, which is a character that I really, really love. I also did the biographical series of José José, El Príncipe de la Canción. And then I fell in love with my now husband, and I moved out to LA.
Yeah, to give it a go in Hollywood.
Yeah, actually, it was his idea. To me, I was like, I'm established in Mexico. I have my life. I have my career here. But then we started dating again. And everything was flowing so much more better this time. And then he was like, you're an actor. Why don't you come to LA? I think this is the place where you need to be. Right. And it's been great. It's been challenging for sure. I mean, I've been able to do projects that are the most special for me and my career. I did a feature film which got into South by Southwest, which is one of the biggest film festivals. I worked with a director who won 2 Emmy Award winners. Wow. So Emmy Awards, sorry. So it's like it's been incredibly fulfilling to follow your dream, but at the same time, it's so hard. Like in Mexico, I had a life. I was independent because of my acting. Yeah. And here is like, I'm still trying to break in the industry. I'm still a very new face in the US. But yeah, I guess this is how it is.
What was the name of the film?
Ayar.
And what does Ayar mean?
Ayar is a Peruvian?
Peruvian?
Yeah, yes. Peruvian name, Ayar. And if I remember correctly, because I know the director chose the name, he found it to be very special. It means the sun in Peru. And it's all about a legend in Peru. And it was a wonderful film. It got picked up by Gravitas Ventures, which is a very cool distribution company. Yeah. And then now it's available on Amazon Prime, but only in the US and Canada.
I know. I tried to watch it last night I couldn't. I was like, I'm clicking on it and I'm trying to watch it before to get ready for the podcast so I can be all smart and like, oh, remember that scene and this. So I don't even know what it's about.
So it's a story of a Latina who follows her dream of being a singer and goes to Las Vegas, but at the same time she abandons her newborn child with her mom and her dad. Things didn't work out. Years later, she comes back and she tries to reconnect with her daughter, but now her mom is like, no, you left. So it's the story of someone who's going through a very hard time emotionally, economically, someone who tried to follow a dream and didn't work. And now she's realizing that the most important thing is her family and her child. And she's trying to reconnect. But yeah, I guess.
So do you sing in the movie? Do you sing in the movie?
Yes, I also sing in the movie. And I have to play the piano. And I even got tendonitis because I didn't know how to play the piano.
Really?
But I got the role. And I was like, yes. I mean, it was so hard.
So you're like hours a day learning how to play
hours. It was in the middle of the like in the height of the pandemic. It was like July 2020. We did at least like 5 different auditions. In Mexico, it's like 1, maybe 2, and you got the role. Here is like audition, call back, and then I remember I was in my last callback, and I was like in front of the producers and the director, and I was like, so does this mean I got it? And they're like, we don't know yet. And I was like, oh my God, it's so hard. Because they were expecting the director, Floyd Ross. He's amazing. He's so talented. And he confessed to me that he wanted to hire an indigenous Mexican and not somebody that looked like me. But he was like, but you won the role. Like you won the role. You really did the best acting. And so Ayar is yours. And so to me, it was like a trophy. And I was like, I need to take advantage of this. And I knew Ayar had to like play piano in the film. And I was like, I bought a piano and I started studying. And I was like, I don't want you to hire a double. I'm going to do this.
So all the playing in the movie is you?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And so it took me, this is the other thing. It was an independent film. And an independent film, you do it like this, super fast. So we had like 2 weeks to prepare. So I was in every single day from like 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. playing. That's how I got the tendonitis. But it was so worth it for me. It was an amazing experience.
So in 2 weeks? Literally 2 weeks you learned how to play?
I only had to learn one song, but I also had to sing it. I thought it was such an amazing
Did you sing before?
Challenge.
No.
In the shower. That's what you do. Like when you're
it's acting.
So here's the thing. When I was here in Mexico, I remember my manager, he would call me sometimes and he would be like, oh, there's an audition for a role and you would need to sing. And I was like, no, I don't sing. I don't know how to sing. But in the US, you're like, yes, I do everything. I've done whatever. Like, do you want me to sing? Of course I sing. Do you want me to play football? Yes, of course. Do you want me to play piano? Of course. You have to figure it out. The competition is so gnarly that I'm not going to let one opportunity that could change my life go just because I'm in my comfort zone of saying no. So I was just like, yes. And I got it. And that's the thing. Like, one of the things that I've been thinking is, and Cabo actually helps me a lot. He's like, why not? You can do this. Why not? Go ahead. We tend to be so shy and we tend to be like, no, I don't sing. Oh my God. Of course I don't. And then you do something.
Yep.
And I was better than the other ones. And you never know. Like, you never know.
Try it.
Just try it out.
Don't be afraid to fail.
Correct. I've been like in a continuous panic attack ever since I got to LA. But it's fine.
It's been 5 years?
I got to LA in 2018. I didn't have papers back then. I was a tourist. That's a whole long, very story. Like, I was trying to get my green card, but the lawyer, he did a scam on me and he took the money and ran away. So anyway, I was visiting Cabo as a tourist, and then this new lawyer was like, so you have two options. Either you go back to Mexico, you go back to Mexico to your normal life, or if you want to save your visa process, you stay here, you can't leave, you can work here, you can work in Mexico, you can work nowhere until you get your green card, if you get it. So that took me 2 years.
2 years. Just kind of like sitting on your hand. Just
sitting in this couch, getting roles in Mexico, not being able to do them. Like, I got a super role also in Miami and I wasn't able to do it. So I was just like sitting. So yeah, believe me, I've had panic attacks.
People were going to you because I'm sure.
No. I was still doing auditions.
Okay.
And I would get the roles. And then I was like, but I'm in this process hoping, because here's the thing, nobody tells you this is gonna last 2 years. I could have gotten my green card the next month or in 6 months or never. So it's sort of a gamble, and I couldn't stop working. So I was like, I'm just gonna keep doing auditions hoping that this is gonna change, and it didn't for 2 years.
If you were to go back, would you do it the same? How would you do it differently?
Oh my God. I wanted to do it much more easier for me. There's a way to do it in the consulado. I don't know how to say
Consulate?
Yeah, exactly. So I could have stayed in Mexico. That was my initial plan. I was like, hey, Cabo, I love you and everything, but I'm going to stay in Mexico. My career, my life, my pets, my car, like everything is in Mexico. So I'm going to do this through the consulate. And once I get the green card, I moved to LA. But because that other lawyer took the money and he also sent some documents to the USCIS, my process was like, if you want to save your case, you need to do this way right now.
Wow. So you were kind of handcuffed. You couldn't go back.
Basically. Oh, I could have, but then I would have to abandon my Hollywood dream for a while. I didn't want to do that. It was a big decision.
Hey, thanks for being a part of the Nick Fong Podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast to get the latest updates. And if you're watching this on our social channels, please like and share. And if you want to be featured or you want me to talk on a certain topic, food, activities, culture, real estate in the Baja, drop a comment. Okay, so what now? I heard that you're starting something new.
Yes. So Ayar, the film that I did, the director invited us, not only me, but the actor, Vilma Vega, the actor that played the role of my mom, to be part of the script writing process. Because he wanted to do something as legitimate as possible. And he knew he was American. He was like, I'm a white guy. I don't know anything about this, but I want to tell this story. And I want you guys to come in just to make sure everything's okay. And I ended up loving the script writing process. So throughout this time that I've been trying to make it in the US and doing so many auditions, I also studied at NYU script writing and cinematography. Thankfully, since the pandemic, now they're like online programs and you can study. And I've been learning so much, and now I'm writing my own story, and I'm very excited about that. Let's see where that takes me.
You just started writing?
No, I've been working on it like for at least a year. It's longer than I thought.
English, Spanish?
English and Spanish.
Oh, both?
Yes.
Can you give me a sneak preview? What's the plot? You've been working on it for a year, so you must have a plot.
It's a story about Venezuela.
Okay.
Which is very important to me, and I don't see many stories about that being told. And one of the things that I've learned in LA is so many actors, the competition is so gnarly that doing this can not only be a way for me to make it or be closer to make it in the US, but also it's a way for me to give voice to the Venezuelan people who are struggling so much because of this situation. So it's a story about a doctor in Venezuela who tries to save her sister in a country where there's no food and there's no medicines. So let's see what she's willing to do to save her.
So how do you get inspired with that? Like,
it's a crazy, I don't know how to explain the process. I can literally be having dinner with Cabo and then I'll be like, oh my God, I got an idea. Bye, I gotta go. And then I just go, I run to my computer and I just start writing. Okay. And I have so many ideas, but one of them usually ends up being something that you are excited to watch. So I saw an interview with Tarantino, and he would say, like, just do the film that you want to watch, that you haven't been able to watch. Just you try to recreate it, try to do it yourself. And that's always a great guide. Instead of just trying to make something that you believe people are gonna like, this is something that I would definitely go to the movies to watch. Cool. So that's what I'm trying to do.
That's so cool. So your second time in Cabo.
Yes.
And this time is much different because you're not working. But you're starting to write more, hopefully. Yeah. Get inspiration. What's your observations of the area, Baja?
Oh my God. I absolutely fell in love with it. Again, this is my second time, like you just said, but this time being with you guys, with Ronival and at Kibira, it's been a magical experience. Really, we got here on Sunday night, and you guys from the very first minute treated us so nicely, and And then we woke up Monday morning, first thing, like 6 a.m. We see the sun come out from the mountain. Oh my God, it was like biblical. It was like, exactly. We couldn't believe it. Like we would be like laughing out loud in the apartment, like, oh my God, do you see that? This is like a dream. This is heaven. So we opened how do you call the persianas?
The curtains.
Yeah, right? The curtains. And oh my God, the view. I'm so grateful. Thank you for having us. And
our pleasure.
For consentirnos the way that you've been doing, because oh my God, it's been so special.
Well, Rocio and her team do an amazing job with the vacation
you guys
rentals.
Do.
And it's not just because it's you guys. They really treat everyone like that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know,
You thought of everything, even like the golf cart, which has been, oh my God, the funnest thing to do ever. So for you guys who don't know, Quibir is like a little town, but it's a big town. And so you're going to find like different, even like resorts within the Quibira complex. And so you can drive with your golf carts everywhere, and you go to the beach and you go to the pool and you go to restaurants, and it's really, and you feel safe. Yeah. And there's like a community of very nice people. Mm-hmm. It's been very, very special.
Do you golf?
No, not at all.
Okay. Because they have an amazing golf course.
I know. We've been seeing.
Did you go hiking?
Yeah, we do. Oh my God. I didn't go. No. I love to hike. Yeah. I didn't know that
you can hike all around. There's like
oh my God, I didn't
know. So there's a lighthouse, and I don't know if you can still get there because they're doing a great project, the Old Lighthouse project. But you know the movie Troy with Brad Pitt?
Yeah, of course.
So they filmed it right there at the Old Lighthouse. And so in 2002, 2003. So my first time here was 2001.
Wow.
Okay. Spring break. And I met Rocio on the second night.
Wow.
At the nightclubs.
That's amazing.
And then I think it was the next year they started
So
filming.
you were actually on spring break.
I was on spring break.
So you were like, going to Cabo to have fun.
And it's spring break
and you
time.
met the love of your life.
Yes.
That's so amazing.
17 years, was it? 17 years. 17 years. 2006 we got married.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. 2 kids later. Wow, 2 dogs, 2 cats.
Oh my God, we're crazy people like that too.
I heard.
Have 2 dogs and 1 cat. They're all Mexican, by the way.
You adopted them in Mexico City?
Yeah. And they've been traveling with us everywhere.
That's amazing. It's incredible.
I mean, it's a process. It's not that amazing, but I'm so happy that they're Mexican.
And since you lived a number of years in Mexico, are you a resident of Mexico?
Yeah, of course, I'm a resident.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a Mexican resident, and now I'm an American resident too, which feels like an Oscar. It's crazy. Not even one American will understand this, but maybe you guys do. Like, it's so hard to get your papers. It's so hard. Well, Cabo took him more than 15 years to become a citizen.
It's crazy.
It's insane. It's like, I'm paying taxes, dude. Why is this so hard? I don't get it.
I'm American. Rocio and I are married.
Yeah.
And so I got my Mexican citizenship.
Like the next day, probably.
No, because back then they made it a little bit, we got lazy. So I have my permanent resident visa, so like the green card equivalent. And maybe 5-6 years ago, we decided, it's been a long time. We just do it. Yeah. So it's a process, but it's 6 months. Yeah. And then I'm a citizen. So we were thinking, let's do the same thing in the U.S. No. We have to live in the U.S. 183 days a year.
Yeah.
And you might get it. Like you were saying.
I know.
It's not guaranteed.
It's a gamble. And especially with back when I was doing my visa process, I mean, I don't want to get political, but Trump was a president. And I don't know if you've heard, he doesn't like Latinos. And he doesn't like actors. So I was like, I'm never going to get it. What am I going to do with it? It was a very emotional process.
Yeah. But you did it.
I did it. Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
I mean, without Cabo, I don't know how I could have been through all of this.
So in 5 years, where do we see Ariana?
I don't know. And you know what? Like, I'm trying to let go of my expectations because I've realized expectations for me only create anxiety.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's different than having objectives and deadlines and working towards your dreams and not just sitting waiting. But I remember when I first got to LA, I was like, in 5 years, I'm winning an Oscar. And then I was like, okay, I'm never going to do this again. This is this is a whole new animal that you don't know what's going to happen. Everything can change for you in literally one day, but it could also take years. I don't know if you're a fan of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Okay. So
you met
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. So like he's Rocio and Sienna, our daughter, in love with him.
Oh, really? Okay. He's
from Chile, right?
Yeah, he's Chilean. So I met him like for 15 minutes.
Okay.
But I was like, yay. Gabo and I were both like, oh my God, you're Latino. You're here. You're making it. We're so proud of you. And then I was like, I'm going to ask him questions. I'm Latina and I'm trying to make it here. And I remember I told him like, hey, dude, help me. I'm white, but I'm Latina. And I want to because there's a whole movement in the U.S. About diversity and inclusion, which I'm so happy about.
Right.
Now you're seeing amazing Latinos, on the screen, on the big screen and small screen, like Tenoch doing this huge film, and so many others. La película Roma, and there's like a huge Latino movement, and then I'm not included. Because Hollywood is like, no, you're not Latina. And I'm like, I am Latina. I couldn't speak English when I first got to LA.
Are you serious? You learned it all in the last 5 or so years?
Yeah, exactly. I've been like reading every book I could find, seeing every movie, every series, everything in English so I could be better, I could become better, and I could be more competitive. Wow. But when I first got there, I was like, natation. Like I didn't know how to speak. And then there's like this whole group of powerful people in Hollywood being like, no, you're not Latina. So it's like, oh shit. So tell me, if you're telling me, like you, American, you're telling me that I'm not Latina, so please tell me, what am I?
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything else. That's what I know. Right. So there's like, it's a bittersweet thing because, Latinos are starting to, have a lot of strength in Hollywood and like in Hollywood. Whether you like it or not, is the platform for, projects and series and movies all over the world. So I love the platform that they're giving us, but there's still so much to do. So much. And I can't remember what we were talking about. I don't know where
are you going to be in 5 years? Kind of your...
Yeah. So I don't know. It all depends on I'm just going to keep... You know what, Nick? I'm just going to keep working hard. Get out of my comfort zone. I've been outside of my comfort zone for the past 5 years because it's very easy for me, and believe me, I want to. It's very easy for me to just go back to Mexico and be like, I'm just gonna keep doing what I was doing. I was doing so well.
Yeah.
But I have to be honest with myself and be like, I maybe I can do both. But that's definitely one of my.
I can say you'll be a better person struggling than you will being comfortable.
Yeah,
And I know from my point of view, at least professionally, I strive to be like better, successful, and then when you get there, you're like, oh shit, now what? Yeah. And then you're saying to yourself, what next? What's the next project? What's the next? Yeah. But enjoy the process. That's the one thing. If you enjoy the process, then you'll never be.
Sometimes. How did you enjoy your process?
I don't know if I necessarily did all the time. But that's what I would say, having a couple more years on you, is enjoy the process. So figure out a way to enjoy it, and then you'll never
I'm trying to figure it out. And it's been definitely Ronival Vacations help me enjoy the process.
Excellent. So come to Cabo, come on vacation.
Definitely. I didn't know I needed a vacation. And then when I got here and I opened the curtains, I was like, my body was like, yes, you needed this for a while. Because I don't know if you've ever been to LA. Yeah. Have you ever lived in LA?
Not lived. It's hard. I know a lot of...
It's very hard. It's like you get... And it has nothing to do with Hollywood or like being an actor. I see it on Cabo too. Like we were both so obsessed with, we gotta make it and whatever that means. And it's like work. And when you meet people in LA, they would tell you like, hi, my name is Ariana. So what are you working on right now? So it's always like around, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing? What are you working on?
Yeah.
So it's almost like, it becomes like your identity.
Yeah.
Here in Mexico, it's like, hi, how are you? Oh my God, I'm so glad that you're here. So you're a human being, regardless of what you do.
Sure.
There is like, tell me what you're doing and then I'll see, you know? So at least that has been my experience. It's been lovely too. LA, it's beautiful. But yeah, you have to, like you just said, I have to learn how to enjoy the process. And meditation has helped me. Doing yoga has helped me. Yeah. Coming to Ronival has been amazing. So we're definitely doing this more often.
Well, fantastic. Well, thank you for joining me.
Of course.
You have a lot of energy.
Thank you. I'm
must
sorry.
be no, don't be sorry. Like I tend to be that person. I tend to be that person. Like always like, do you sleep, Nick? You're always like sending messages at 2 a.m, 11 at night, God. 6 a.m. I'm better at that though. I don't do that. You know, so there's a thing in Gmail that you can schedule sending.
Of course I know.
So
that. I do that all the time.
No matter what time I compose, it always sends for
8 a.m.
Yes.
Yeah, I do
the 8 a.m. default.
The next day.
That's it.
I know.
We're the 8 a.m. default snooze send.
Totally. But then I don't know if this happens to you. I prepare the email, I schedule it for the next day, 8 a.m. in the morning, and then I'm trying to sleep throughout the entire night. Like, should I edit the email? Maybe I should change what I said. Maybe I should do it like this. And oh my God, my mind is all the time. All the time.
You're worse than me. I don't do that. I send and I forget. I just
really? Oh my God, I have to learn.
I can't deal with those pendings because I get real anxious about it too.
It's horrible.
But I'm really...
Do you meditate?
I do. Not enough. Not enough. I try to do it every day, but I fail many days. But you know what I do, which is a form of meditation. I talk about this all the time. Ice baths.
What's that? Ice baths?
Yeah, so you take ice, you put it in water, and then you go inside.
Oh, no, I don't do that. No, I go into the hot tub.
Well, you can do both. You could do hot tub, ice,
no.
hot, cold.
Like the cold plunge?
Yeah, the cold plunge. That's it.
Yeah. No. I respect
That's my meditation.
People, but no. Okay. I'm a warm soul. I'm from Venezuela. I need a Caribbean sun.
Ayar. Soul.
Ayar.
In Peru?
Ayar. No, Ayar is on Amazon Prime.
But does it mean sol? Like sun?
Yeah, sol in Peru. Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah, you're right.
How fitting.
I know. I never thought about it like that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's
and we're going to continue. Dinner, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
The spouses, we're getting together. You're going to meet my kids.
Oh, yeah, I have to meet them.
So Rocco's super excited to meet you.
Oh, really? I'm so excited to meet him.
All right, guys. Until the next one, bye for now.
Bye.
It's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
You were like,
I'm sorry.
That's great.
I see cameras and I'm like, yes!
That's incredible.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Nick Fong Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Ronival Real Estate and follow Nick on Instagram at NickFong_Ronival. Ready to find your Baja dream home? Check out the latest property listings at Ronival.com or findmexicohouses.com. Hasta luego.